Hi, good evening. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Steffi.
Hi.
My favorite little sound is that ding ding, somebody's in the waiting room. Ding ding, somebody's in the waiting room.
Cool. This
So
is so exciting.
I'm smiling at the screen and my camera's not even turned on.
That's okay. Hi.
Howdy.
I'm so excited.
Hey,
So-
Steffi Joe, good to see you.
It's nice seeing you. How fun is this?
Yeah.
Super fun. Were you guys able to get the were you guys able to get onto the platform? This is like, so the platform is not where I wanted it to be today. I really wanted all the forums to be in and all the content to be in. We had to move from the other platform that literally you could not access on the internet.
Oh, oh.
There was some DNS. It kept going Cloudflare error. I'm like, what
Oh, is that the one it took you to a metaverse? They had that pretty
Yes.
metaverse.
Yes. And if you log in, if you do mintingthefuture.com/login, and you should have gotten your login information in your email, then it lets you in. No?
I did not get that email. Did you get it, Donna?
Yes, it went to the Gmail account. So I'm not sure which one you need. My Gmail I use for Google, but the other email is my communication.
Got it.
So whatever you need to make it secure, I'll go with. But I did get it. I didn't answer the question. Yes, I did get it.
Oh, okay. I didn't. It gave you my Gmail address and I got the meeting invite, but not the login email.
Got it. Okay. So the login email should have come from Minting the Future.
Okay.
I got it. Just did it. You got a pretty picture up there, right?
Let's see.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what it looked like. I had to add another plugin to gate it. I can't wait for you guys to see what I made you. So since this is a Web3 class, I decided that we're doing token gated access. But not for this first week.
So we can learn what that is.
Oh yes. Just wait. And I'm going to teach you how to do these in Canva too.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Oh yeah. I'm going to share my screen so you can see this.
My favorite platform, Canva.
Is it your favorite platform?
Yeah, I use it a lot.
I love
Yeah.
Canva. Yeah.
I am a Photoshop girl. And when you do generative art, that's more than you can do by hand. But this is literally, so I made her. I
Nice.
made her with an AI program based on me. And I thought, she doesn't look like me. So, so I cut her out and then I made backgrounds and I swooshed it all and, just made it fun. And then I cropped it at the very end. So I should have moved this up. It says tonight. It's really fun. And then I made 20 because there's only 20 alpha spots. I made 20 one of ones for an access pass that I'm going to mint and give to you guys.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Very
Thank you.
cool.
Adrian says she's not a designer. Don't believe her.
Yeah.
She's more talented than she lets herself believe.
Yeah. That is beautiful.
Yeah. So you're actually all going to get templates to make an access pass yourself.
Mm.
They're pretty easy. But if you wanted to do that for your clients or you wanted to do, a not an NFT coaching program, but a coaching program, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or any other way you wanted to do an access pass. So for musicians, what I do is I make a generative of this, and I'll do it in Photoshop because in Photoshop you can export all the layers. So that's pretty darn fun. So were you able to get the link. Oh, you weren't. Hold on. Let me go get it. I'll put it in the chat here so you guys can see it. Dropbox link. Here's the chat. This is what we're going to be going over tonight. Can you all see that?
Yep.
Okie dokie.
Oh, in the chat. Yep.
NFT planner and workbook.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, are we having Elon as a guest speaker?
Me?
No, yeah. His
Ian.
pictures in the workbook.
Elon. Is Elon coming on tonight?
Elon is not coming on tonight. I do have some very special people who are, Kay, it's 3:00 in the morning. Oh, no, it's midnight. It's midnight. Kay, are you awake? That's so funny.
Yeah, I set my alarm clock.
Oh,
Hi, Kay.
okay, you're a brave soul.
That is dedication.
That is dedication. Okay, so in the chat, Kay, because you just got here, there is a link to the workbook that we're going to be going over tonight. And this is basically the
Oh my God. Wow.
this is, I made all the art in here, by the way. This is going to, we're going to walk through what you would do with a client, because we're going to do it with you. And then you're going to understand every single facet of every single question you're going to ask them, because that's how you're going to get them to an actual project plan that's going to work. And every week you're going to get a new bundle. Like next week is case studies. So next week you're going to get basically like a workbook like this, but it's going to be specifically for each industry. So one for real estate, one for gaming, one for healthcare, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So
Okay.
Adrian, just to let you know, because I just joined, I think people just join later on. They don't get the links that you put in prior.
Oh, really? In the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't see anything in the chat.
Okay,
Zoom's
there you
weird like
There we
that.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully Ian can get that too. Although he's seen a version of this from a couple of years ago. Okay, so let's go through and start. Welcome. Actually, before we get started, everybody to know everybody. 3 of you know each other already, but we'll start at the upper. I'm just going to go with what I can see. So let's start with Donna. Can you guys do introductions?
Yeah, hi, everybody. My name is Donna Mitchell. I'm a consultant, and I'm just glad to be here with Tirza and Kay and meet everybody else.
Yay! Yay! But I hear you have a pretty baller background.
Mhm.
Oh, see,
Just a little bit.
See, one of my coaches is here.
Oh yeah, there's no secret. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
all
very
right, all
small.
right. I'm sorry. I'll do a little bit more. Okay, you're right. I need to, do this. Anyway,
I
my
will teach
background
you
is I'm an
through
industry
saying
level project manager is what I was doing for 22 years in airline management in regards to a $7.2 billion client list. I was in e-commerce global distribution on the system side. And then I transitioned to pharmaceutical with Johnson & Johnson. So at the end of the day, I am in business development as an entrepreneur currently, helping businesses, organizations, and individuals transition to digital marketing and doing the consultant business on business development and trying to take it high end. So that's why I'm here for the technology, because that's where I was. And I love it. So thank you for having me.
I love it. Thank you. Yeah, just a little bit of a baller. Just a little bit.
All right.
Just,
Hi.
just a little. Okay, Steffi Joe.
Well,
Hi.
Steffi Joe, I guess I would like to say I've been a business owner since probably the day I was born. So many, many years. And at the end of 21, I sold a business that was 37 years old, and it was older than my kids. And so I've been looking at this time to am I going to I'm an entrepreneur, what am I going to do? And I have always embraced technology. I was around when the first PC was introduced to the small business. I took that thing apart. I taught myself data coding. This is my thing. And so what do? So I'm embracing the blockchain technology here. I mean, this is where the world is going. This is where I want to be. This is what I want to help others with. And it's like a new life for me. I'm just so jazzed about this.
I'm so
And on the
excited.
side, I'm an artist and a creative, and that will never go away. So
Oh,
it's kind
you're gonna love
of,
this. Yep,
kind
you're
of
gonna
very,
you're gonna love this.
love
I'm
it.
so excited to have you.
Mm.
Okay, Terza.
So my first career was software engineering. And like many of you, I was around for some of the early things. My dad, we were the first people in our neighborhood to get an Apple IIe, 2C. I don't remember what it was,
Mhm.
but that was like a big deal. Oh, no, before that, we actually had the TRS-80. We played Star Trek on a cassette. So it's been a blast ever since. So I really did love my engineering career. But when it was over, it was like, I don't know what I'm going to do next. And I bebopped around with this and that and the other until, and I went in to send out cards. I did some other businesses. But then when my friends introduced me to art, I totally fell in love. And it was art all the way. I enjoy being creative. I love wild colors. And of course, I never lost my love for technology. So when NFTs came along and digital art came along, and I saw the way to combine both loves, it was like, oh, I'm really in heaven. This is so cool. The part I don't know as much about is the business part, so I kind of bumble along there. But I find people who help me out. So,
Tears is awesome. She's being very modest. That's how I learned NFTs. I'm a creative type person, but I didn't know anything about NFTs, and they were very inspirational and people loved them. So she trains real well, and she's in that space. Me and Kay, we with her with some other disciplines, but she knows what she's doing.
I love
thank
it.
you.
Mhm.
So basically what you're saying is she's going to be writing the smart contracts.
There we go.
I will collect some resources for you so that you have some extra bonus, on the side deep dive stuff that you can do it's more geeky. You can play at any level you want. You can play at the business side, you can play at the marketing side, you can play at the tech side, you can play at the legal governance side. However you want to play in NFTs, there is plenty of room and much need.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome. And Kay, who I'm going to see next week.
Yay! Hey everyone. So, oh my goodness. Where do I start? So I've done so many different things. I mean, I used to be a police officer, an MMA fighter. I used to be an interpreter for British Sign Language. I was a hairdresser. I've done so many. It just goes on and on and on. Worked with the Prince's Trust, and then eventually decided to leave all of that and look at what business looked like and jumped into the role of events management. From there, then did sales, worked at events, seminars all over the world, traveled. Then the pandemic happened, and now I have the business that I'm working on now. I am a podcast. I have my own podcast agency, and I help people launch their own podcast, get booked on podcasts, and help them with repurposing their podcast episodes into snippets so they can use that on social media now.
Awesome. I love that.
And so the idea was, how do I incorporate NFTs with podcasting? Because I know there's something there. I just don't know how to get all that working. I'm not an IT person. This is where Teresa comes in, right? So I'm learning on how this could be incorporated in the podcasting moving forward.
I'm going to give you the very short answer right now, which is your podcast platform is the only way to make this happen. I use Bcast. I can use dynamic ads. So just like there was this whole concept of watch to earn, you can have a listen to earn, and you formulate that as a 30-second or 60-second commercial that you programmatically insert into your podcast that's only good for 24 hours, which will inspire everyone to listen in the first 24 hours. So you get your listener counts up and you stay at the top 10.
So
Ooh,
Adrian,
wow.
this is how we kind of came together. We were first doing a joint venture with Teresa. I was pulling something together with what she had taught me and then having the business background, the global background. Then Kay was doing something with the podcasting with Teresa. But Teresa was really the one with the NFTs first. But between the three of us and the disciplines and our knowledge base, I thought we would be a formidable entity from the consultant and any side from the NFTs. So that's how you got the three of us.
Oh, I love it. And I have so much for you guys. I can't even wait. When we do our privates, you're going to, oh my God, it's going to be great. Okay. Ian.
Hi,
Hi.
my name's Ian Abugaida. I actually know Adrian for a while. She actually helped me get into NFTs. I work with Lee Richter and under Global Leaders Collective as well as Go Ask Lee. And Adrian was hired as a consultant on one of Lee's first NFT projects. And I was a baby in the field, and she helped me understand things and expedited my education very fast. And now I work directly with Lee, and we've got a whole company based around NFTs. And right now we're working on a global project with a country, and then actually with two countries. And so we're now moving forward with that. And Adrian just told me that she's doing this today. And so I just wanted to jump in, give her support, and obviously see what else I can learn from her, because every time we have a conversation, I always learn something new.
Fabulous. Okay. I have some more people who don't have their pictures on. So let's go to Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I've been in web and web app development and design for over 20 years. And with this, I'm looking to get more into blockchain and NFTs. I've known Adrian for quite some time, and she's been pulling me that direction. And it's time to plunge headfirst and actually become an expert in it and level up my skills.
Absolutely, because this girl literally is a secret weapon. Just to give you an idea, I'm trying to think of how old Jack was, but it was at least 15 years ago. We did a project together for one of my clients. I dragged her into it to do the website of it, to literally make rent payments online, which is now just now becoming a thing. We did it 15 years ago, like one of the very first ones. So she is bleeding edge.
I can't count the number of times I've been dragged into something with Adrian on a moment's notice. Like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. But she's so talented, and I think Web3 needs her. So I'm so glad she's here. Patricia, you're on mute.
I'm here. Zoom made me update before I got on.
Yeah.
Story of my life with Zoom. This is not my friend. My background is too extensive. I'll tell you how old I am if I tell you everything. Let's just say the last 20 years, I'm a subject matter expert in insurance and anything related to underwriting and insurance. So don't know how that's going to fit with NFTs, but looking for ways to pivot and keep up with technology.
Well, she's launching a pretty revolutionary healthcare company. And I have some ideas. The whole point of the blockchain is to control the identity to make sure that the person receiving the services is that person, but also so that they can house their own medical records. Because have you ever tried to get your medical records out of Epic? I went from Kaiser, that's on Epic, to Renown, that's on Epic.
Right.
Nope.
And also that allows us to take it to a global. Exactly. And it allows you to have a global footprint for your healthcare. So if you want to go on vacation in Greece, you can't talk to your doctor and he can't order medicine in Greece right now, but we're setting it up so that you will have two primary care doctors, one virtual, one brick and mortar, and doesn't matter where you are on the globe, you can get treated. So that's a powerful game changer for people traveling. And, you know, a lot of retired people don't travel because of health reasons now, but they want to, but now they can.
And now they can. And since I globetrot all over the world, my very favorite doctor was an army doc who could prescribe me anything, anywhere in any country. So now everybody's going to have that,
An army doc. Exactly.
everybody's going to have an army doc.
I love it.
It just makes it so much easier. I never have to worry about what country I'm in. I know I'm covered.
That's right.
Okay. So in the chat, does everybody have the PDF link that I put in the chat? Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to start going over what it is, how this is going to be organized. So the platform is, the reason I put the project, the training on minting the future is because I want you guys to really get familiar with the platform, because that's where the jobs board is going to be. That's where both the public and private forums are going to be. So our forums for our class are going to be on there. And then the public forums, when we launch the television show, which we start recording next month, we had a few delays, but next month we got a huge studio in Pompano Beach. I'm super excited. I've worked with Broadcast Beat for the last 10 years. They're really professional, so I'm really excited about that. But that's going to start going. That's going to generate a ton of leads. So I want to get you guys ramped up as quickly as possible to be able to intelligently talk to civilians, that's what I call them, and help them ideate what their NFT project would be, and then start getting leads and jobs and clients. So that's why I put it here, because then you're going to just used to being here. You also have access to blog on the platform and everything else. And we're doing a promotion strategy on this platform that is going to just go gangbusters. So that's going to drive a ton of eyeballs and traffic. The site is not done. Please do not look at the site. The homepage isn't done yet. The NFT minting part is not done yet. This is a work in progress, but it will be done within 30 days. So let's go to the project plan. So when you work with clients, the thing that you're going to give them is you're going to have your own version of this, right? It's going to have your logo and your links and all of that. So I've got a little welcome page. So you want to have a great photo, just talking about the marketing while we're doing everything else. You always want to have a great photo that's engaging and makes them smile back at you. This is the key. So when I did my first book in 2008, I put it out, and I have a very sneaky, subconscious way of getting media bookings. So I had 300 media appearances my first year with my book, and it was the #1 marriage book in America for 3 years running. So here's the key. In your email template, and I used a program called High Impact Email, because that allowed me to do a mail merge very easily. And it was like a very pretty newsletter, like beautiful template. So what I did was I have leads, which I will be passing along to you guys, but you can sign up for HARO, Help a Reporter Out. And then I'm going to give you a whole list of all the places to find and Quoted is another good one. And then I used ProfNet back then, which is a very expensive platform that I just signed up for again. And I swear in 4 months, I got like 2 leads. So it's not the NFT, the metaverse, and anything crypto blockchain is not there. It's all on HARO and it's all on Quoted. Those are the 2 places that you get the most leads for this particular industry. So what I would do is I would look at their query, and then up here in the top was my logo of my book. And then over here in the sidebar was a photo of me smiling. And it was always the last shot in the photo shoot. Like, always look at the last shot. If you do a photo shoot, look at the last shot. I guarantee you it's going to be great. Why? You're relieved that it's over. It's a real smile, right? And so the photographer was a friend of mine, and he told me a dirty joke. And I laughed. And so it was a real laugh. And I mean, like shooting joy effervescing out of my eyeballs, like a real laugh. So that photo was, I'm trying to do it on your side. Anyway, the photo was on the right-hand side, looking toward the person reading the email. In the email itself, no more than 3 sentences. I literally answered their question, and you answer them in quotables. So literally they can lift that sentence out and put it in their article. So you want to be very quotable, very succinct. And I like to do things like, I was in family law basically at the time. And so it was a question about divorce. And I was talking about how you always want to put the kids first. And I said, and if you can be like a la Bruce and Demi Moore, right? Like funny, right? Another one was about, do you drink at the company Christmas party? And I said, you know, I'm too much of a control freak to drink, but that doesn't mean I won't dance on the bar sober. And it's like things like that. Like I always did something that answered their question, gave a great tip, right? So it would start with, as a certified divorce financial analyst, blah, 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 blah. So very short in your qualifications, answer the question, no more than 3 sentences, and then say, I'm happy to provide any resources that you may need in the future. Then in your signature block, under your name is where you put all your qualifications. You want their eyes go directly to that small little text block with relief that you didn't just send them 25 pages of a response and 2 gigs of attachments, because that's what they get. Right. And then that smile, you have to say something funny, because then they laugh, and then they see me smile and I'm laughing, and our eyes meet, and we had a moment and I wasn't even there. I kid you not, 300 media appearances. And I would say half the time I didn't even know. So I set up alerts.google.com. And every time I was quoted in something, it would shoot me an alert. And it was 10 a day of alerts every time I would get indexed again. So that's a little quick tip.
So basically you're giving them not only their information, but their punchline too.
Yep.
They don't have to work for it.
They don't have to work for it. I definitely don't make them work for it. When pitching yourself for television shows, you literally write the segment for them. You give them all the questions, you give them a little brief of what your answer is going to be and 5 tips, boom. And they're like, oh my God, you just saved me 2 hours. I don't have to find the person and I don't have to write the segment. Booked. So we're going to do a whole thing on NFT publicity. But I realized that you have to be subject matter experts, and you have to also build up your own name brand for yourself. So I'm adding all of the stuff that I used to do. I had a class that I taught called Impress the Press. So I'm going to add that into it. I want to rebrand it because it's literally 13 years old, but every single tactic still works. And it's really important that you guys are seen as the experts. I love that most of you are women. Oh my God, I can't even. Right? Blockchain is always seen as crypto bros and strip clubs with Lambos. Like that's literally the brand of the industry. And that is not at all the way it is. So every time I pitch, they're like, oh my God, you're an intelligent woman who can actually answer this question. Yes. So we get booked 100 times faster than boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that women will make it more mainstream, get it out of like the gamer boy headspace and more into mainstream reality.
Oh, yes. And I love that none of us are 20. Because I think we're all about the same age. We're close.
Thank you, darling. Thank you very much.
I just look really young, Donna. I'm not. I'm 54.
Thank you, darling. Thank you very much.
No, you're gonna be the corporate executive quotable person, right? Because they want to know, how is this going to work? Well, here's the deal. Airlines, we just saw the meltdown in Southwest Airlines, right? That was
I was at the TV, man. I know exactly. I know Southwest, in and out, Metrojet, all back in the day. I know that
their software was
a good
so
time
old.
watching the mess.
Right. So just like Mark Cuban, and we've been doing NFT tickets for a really long time, and we do it for music concerts, and we do it for the basketball games. There is no reason that an airline cannot create a transferable NFT. See, they don't make it transferable, but it could be, as long as you all have a smart IID so that they know exactly who you are and your full KYC AML. They can sell this seat on this flight. And then if you can't make that flight, you can either return it to them, refund it, but that's how they should issue it, because they're overselling seats. That's part of the business
we talked
model.
about that a little bit, because the electronic ticketing team, I was the project manager in joint development with United. So
Perfect.
there were some things I saw that could move into that whole reward space from
Mhm.
back Chairman's Preferred Priority Gold and all those other
Yep.
old projects of mine.
Oh yeah, we are gonna have so much fun. When you guys were talking about podcasting, I will literally have you on the Minting the Future podcast, and we can have all these conversations about moving legacy systems into Web3, right? How can we integrate it to make the process smoother, faster, less expensive, more transparent, more highly auditable, but also a better consumer experience? Because that's the key. That's the ultimate end all be all goal. Okay. Keep trying to get to this PDF. So welcome page, the smile, went off on a tangent. In a lot of these, we're actually going to have you guys doing some like sample projects or things like that, or little short, tiny little things, just so you can put logos on, because I'm going to have a whole page on your proposals. I have a proposal template for you. When you're pitching, you want to be able to have brands on there that you've worked with. And you can use Web 2 brands if you worked with them in Web 2, but you always want to have some Web 3 past experience. So there's a project overview. So this is what you're going to go through with them. And I actually rearranged all the pages. So ignore the table of contents. So what to expect. So here's what we do. When we're onboarding a client, we go through and we do an initial consultation. This piece is the most critical, because this is where you're going to get people who really, they know, they go, I need an NFT, right? And this happened to me on Clubhouse all the time. You have all these celebrities going, I need an NFT. So they go and they mint the cover of their album that came out 2 years ago. And there's music videos for every song on the album on YouTube. And they literally went to OpenSea, uploaded the album art, called it a one of one, and tried to sell it for $100,000. That's not a thing. Like that's a JPEG with a serial number. That's not even, and you can't even guarantee that that's that artist, because if you look up, I'm going to put in a whole bunch of like, they're fun conversational things when you're doing these consultations of things that can go wrong, that when you know them and you bring them up to them, they're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't know that. It's just going to give you more credibility. So here's this one about somebody uploading an album. Well, you've heard about Beeple. Beeple had the $69 million art piece that sold at Sotheby's. And with that, there was a hacker who kept saying, well, we have a problem with these smart contracts. We have a problem with these smart contracts. Nobody was paying any attention. He wasn't getting, he wasn't getting an answer, and nobody was even looking at it. So he said, okay, fine, I'll just show you. And he did what's called sleep minting. So he literally hacked a smart contract. So when you look at NFTs, a one of one is an ERC 721, right? A typical token like Ethereum is an ERC 20. That is a fungible token. That means that it can be divided into however many decimal places it's programmatically allowed, right? Bitcoin, it's 18 decimal points. We're going to actually mint a token. We're going to mint shit coins just for freaking fun, because we are going to be talking about creator coins. So I am literally going to make you do it yourself. It's going to be so much fun. I can't even tell you. You're all going to create your own custom creator coin, and we're going to do it on the test net. I'm going to teach you how to get free ETH on the test net through the faucet and that whole bit. But what you're going to do, so that's fungible. Fungible is like money. 100 pennies is the same thing as $1. They're completely interchangeable, and it doesn't matter, right? And ERC 1155 is like an addition. So the one of one would be an original oil painting. Well, then, you can have serigraphs, or you can have artist proofs. There'll be like 50 of those. Then you can have serigraphs. Then you can have lithographs. Then you can have posters, which are unlimited open editions, right? So an 1155 is a multiple number of the same image, right? So there's different, though the reason that I'm going through this is to help you explain. There are hundreds of smart contract standards, right? Those are just the ones for NFTs and tokens. There's like 75, 150 more, mostly to do with the financial industry. So what he used, when you're dealing with security tokens, these are things that represent things like stock, right? Where you have to have full KYC, AML, know your customer, anti-money laundering. For banking purposes, they have to have certain provisions in their smart contracts that allow clawbacks, right? If a transaction doesn't get through, or if it's a custodial issue, they need to be able to claw the tokens back. So what Mr. Nobody did, big round circle. You like the way I teach? It's entertaining, but it's hard to follow along. That's why I record it. So what Mr. Nobody did was he took the NFT minting contract, and then he took some of those financial instrument pieces and clauses in those smart contracts that allowed things like clawback and transfer. And when he minted Beeple's version 2, he minted it from Beeple's wallet without Beeple's permission. So the actual art was minted from his wallet. So if you compared it to the real version, it would say minted from the same wallet. Okay. And then it transferred to another wallet, and then he was going to sell it for like $1 million something. But he didn't sell it. I mean, he offered it for sale, but he wasn't going to sell it. The whole point was, I shouldn't be able to do that. Right? But he could, and he did. So those are really interesting things. So this is why the project plan is so important. What are they going to do?
Can I just ask for clarification on something?
Absolutely.
When you talk about something that's non-fungible, am I correct in understanding that that means that it is like unique and cannot be exchanged directly for anything else? That it's not like a one-for-one exchange, it's a uniquely identified.
Yes.
In terms of currency, it's unique.
Yes, it's unique. The token is unique. And the metadata is unique. But here's the thing. You can do whatever you want with it. So you could exchange it for something else.
Yes, but it can't be exchanged like dollar for,
no.
You can exchange for dollar. It can exchange. It's like more bartering than exchanging something for currency to currency.
Right. It is not equal value. So then the other piece of this is, so with the Mavericks, they were doing the ticketing. One butt in one seat on one night. That is a uniquely indivisible thing. You cannot put two butts in the same seat. The seat is only built for one butt, right? So that's the key. That's kind of how I like to explain non-fungible. Now, it gets fun when people say they're doing fractional ownership of an NFT. Now, early on, I already got in trouble for this one because I came up early COVID. I said, oh my God, we have to figure out how to keep these museums open. And 30 years ago, no, 20 years ago, what a really long time ago, my boyfriend at the time was really into art, and he took me to the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art's rental gallery. This is a huge, massive warehouse full of art that's not hanging on the walls in the museum. It's not earning any money unless somebody rents it. It's just sitting there and costing them storage costs. And so, every month or two, we would go and pick out another, 20-foot by 15-foot painting for his living room. Like the massive paint, it had to, maybe it wasn't 20 feet. It made it through the triple open door, sliding doors sideways, but it's huge. And he would just rent new art. And I said, oh, well, okay, that's something that they could do. Or the Mona Lisa. What we'll do is we'll make it a membership, and we'll cut the Mona Lisa into 1,000 squares, right? And you get one of those squares. And it's almost like if you're old enough to remember the $1 Million webpage. It was 1 million pixels sold for $1 each. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. I got to put that up there because that was so cool. And that was the first one to do it. And I was like, let's just do that. We'll sell everything, and it's a membership. It's just like buying a premium membership subscription that they already have for the museum, right? But then it got a little dicey with the SEC because that's technically fractional ownership of the Mona Lisa, right? So that is a security. Securities require accredited investors, and unless you're going to spend the $250,000 to do a Series A, then no public no public anything, unless you want to do a Reg CF. Reg CF allows you to raise $5 million every year. And it's pretty darn easy. So that's another way to do it if you ever wanted to fractionalize the Mona Lisa for $5 million. Who wouldn't buy a subscription to the Mona Lisa? I own a piece of the Mona Lisa, right?
It's a timeshare.
It's like a timeshare. Exactly. Oh, so part of the timeshare was I literally had it designed so that you would set it up and have video monitors so they could literally visit the Louvre and visit the Mona Lisa 24/7 whenever they wanted. They could always see the Mona Lisa. And then private parties quarterly, you know, black tie affairs, things like that, right? I mean, there's so much you can do when it comes to utility. But the key point when you're talking to prospective clients is, what do they want to do? 99% of the time they go, I want an NFT. That's like saying I'm hungry. What does that mean? To do what? Right? So I like to start with the end in mind. What is their ultimate goal for using it? Do they want more customers? Do they want more sales? Do they want increased revenue streams and it's a whole new revenue stream for them? Do they want visibility? Is it to build community so that all of their fans and customers can engage with each other? Or do they just want it to be a one-to-many, like a loyalty program? So really diving deep into what is their bandwidth, like how much time are they committed to doing it, or executing on it after the mint, and what do they want to get out of it, right? And from there, you can usually figure out, okay, these are the 3 frameworks that it fits in. So let me go back to the screen and go to the next one. Okay, so that's part of the exploration. We want to deep dive into what do they want to do. The other piece of this is, what are the assets, right? So Ian's going to chuckle about this one, but I have to tell the story. So Ian and I worked on a project called Titanic, and we were doing it because we had access, or Lee had access to the producer of the original documentary of the first dive to the Titanic, like footage and a whole documentary, and like, and we were like, awesome. And what did we have? Like 23 days?
Yeah. 26 days.
26 days. Okay. First off, say no. If you don't have 90 days, say no. But we were like, 26 days. We could do 26 days. And we did quite a bit in 26 days. The problem is when you're talking about assets, right? So this is when you're working with a brand, or you're working with a music artist, or you're working with a television, anybody, right? Your number one thing that's going to just kill you is due diligence. Rights clearances is everything. You have to have the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So as an example, I have a movie. It's called Metal. It's a dark, depressing art film about a Black man who can't get a job. It was made we produced it or launched it in 1998 on 16mm black and white film. Starts off 8 minutes with a blind woman playing cello badly. That's why I say it's an art film. It's not a movie, it's an art film. But it was super impactful. It was literally about the plight of the urban poor, and I was way too early for that conversation. So I'm gonna put it out again on the 25th anniversary, and now it should actually hit. So now it'll go. But we did spend 2 years going around the world winning awards. I have every single piece of paper, every contract. I can't find half the people. So when we do this, I'm abiding by every single contract, every single rev share, but all the money for the people that we can't find is going into trust accounts, trust wallets for them, because I don't know where they are, right? So if I ever find them, great. If we find out they died, then we give it to their heirs, but their money is going in securely. We're not just putting it into the slush fund. With Titanic, we found out a day or 2, 3, Ian found a copy of the film, which we thought had only ever been aired on television one time 20 years ago. He found it on the internet, a really, really bad, like 20-year-old VHS warped, glitched out copy, right? That was not good. And then right after that, I found out that a French company actually owned the rights to the whole thing. So even though this was the actual original producer, named producer, like no joke, this person legit produced this, they didn't own the intellectual property. That is a key component to everything. We're having that issue right now for an NFT play to earn game, where the dev team brought in a friend, and the friend happens to be a top level, like worked on Avatar, top level 3D artist. And that friend, on a verbal, not on legal contractual, and a smart contract is not it's not smart, and it's not a contract. So actual physical legal contracts for intellectual property assignment before anybody works has to be a work for hire. You must get it in writing, because afterwards they may be so impressed with their work that they decide that you can fuck off, which is pretty much what just happened. So literally for this particular project, this game was being built. It's a year behind schedule. And the artist pops up with, well, you guys just have to turn over everything, put it into a profitable C corporation, so that we can raise, $100 million to finish this game. I'm like, that's not on the roadmap. That's not on the roadmap.
It feels like when it comes to NFTs and the blockchain in general, that it's like the wild, wild west when it comes to rights for things, that it's like nobody knows exactly how to nail things down.
Oh, no, they don't. I mean, look at Quentin Tarantino. Everything is also left up for interpretation. One of the big things that we're working on is going through all of the catalogs for all of these motion picture companies that have back catalogs, dating back to forever, right? Well, those contracts, nobody had a contract for who has the rights for NFTs because they didn't exist, right? Generally, it's going to be the distribution company, because they always take everything and it says, VHS, 35 millimeter film, and anything that's futurely invented, although sometimes it doesn't say that. In Quentin Tarantino's case, he released an entire series of NFTs on Pulp Fiction because he reserved the rights to the writing. And the studio sued him. So remember, this is America. Everybody has the right to be sued, which is why I like I dotting and T crossing. And in the entire project plan, there's a checklist that literally has all of the IP rights, all of the contracts. And I'm having all of those contracts drafted so that you have samples. You should definitely always have your own attorney, but it saves you time and money. I literally fill in the blank like Mad Libs, hand it to the attorney and go, did I fuck up? Then you got a 30-minute review. And if you have prepaid legal, they'll even review it for you for free. Right. And then
Do they
once,
understand this stuff?
huh?
Do they understand this stuff? Prepaid legal?
Yeah, it's just a contract review. And that's what's so interesting. People think it has to be like super complicated, and lawyers are not going to understand a lot of blockchain law. But when you're talking about intellectual property and intellectual property assignments, that's, 100 years old plus. So pretty much any attorney can look at that and say yes or no, right?
I mean, there isn't a lot of blockchain law at this point for them to go on, is there?
No. So that's why they have to be really clever and very intelligent, because what they have to do is they have to look at, okay, this feels a lot like this. We already know what the guide rails are for this. So we're just going to follow as if it was this, so that we don't step outside the boundaries of the law. We're going to make sure we do that. We're not selling a security. We're going to make sure that, and that's the other thing. Is your NFT a security? Like tokenizing the Mona Lisa? Or is it a utility? So that's step number 2. Once you dive into what do they want to do and what assets do they already have, right? That's a key piece. What do they have? Do they already have a website? Great. You can just upgrade it. You can add a minting page. You can add a Web3 login. Great. They don't have a website, then that's a whole thing they're going to have. Do they already have an email list? Well, if they don't have an email list, you have to start building it long before you go to market, because that's the key thing. The rule of thumb for a 10,000 profile picture project, PFP project, is you need 3,000 raving fans. in an email list. Most people, oh my God, I'm so excited. I got the hiccups. Most people, mint will be the lowest price it will ever be if it's designed correctly. So they will mint more than one. Matter of fact, there's ways to get them incentivized to mint 10, right? They'll mint a bunch. And then what they do is they'll sell off the commons, recoup their investment, and hold on to the rares. That's generally how people buy. So you want to look at the assets, make sure those are rights cleared. And then what do they have in terms of everything else? And I have a list in here, but they need, are they already a business, right? Maybe it's a bunch of friends getting together and deciding that they want to do a new thing, right? And somebody drew something cool. Somebody else knows how to program. Somebody else knows how to market. And they're like, let's make the new doodles, right? Or let's make a better Bored Ape. And when you come together and you're doing this project, that's another question. Is this project going to live on its own as its own legal entity with its own EIN number and its own bank account and its own tax returns? Or is it going to be a project of an already existing corporation? Or is it going to be a wholly owned subsidiary wrapped in an LLC so that everything just flows back up, so you're not looking at, a dozen tax returns, right? So do you see why the actual, this is why people screw up projects, because they don't go through the consulting process and nail down all of the pieces ahead of time. They go and they mint something and then they go, oops, right? Like, I minted something. The mint price was $200. I gave my team in lieu of payment 10 each. That's $2,000. That's a 1099. Oh, wait, we all live in California. Doesn't matter if they're a consultant and a contractor and I'm going to 1099 them. Actually, they're part of the business and a crucial part of the business. That actually makes them an employee no matter how I have it on paper. Now I'm liable for taxes and penalties and fines.
Dang, our IRS gets you every time.
Every time. So we have an entire structure that we put together, and it's called the Creators Trust. And it is a corporate organizational architecture that protects all of the participants, the founders, the artists, everybody, and reduces the tax burden, if not eliminates it, depending on how you do it. So that's in a future week. This is the overview of what we're going to, do you like it so far? Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
you answered my question, because I was curious about an attorney that's an attorney's attorney in intellectual property, copyright, and trademark law.
Oh yes, I have
And
one.
he's international. So I was, when you first, but it sounds like you've already got that piece covered, because I'm the one that's going to think about liability and all this other stuff. I know, everybody laughing at me.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that liability.
I am the due diligence zealot, also known as the bitch who says no. That's one of my very favorite reputation pieces, because I do say no all the time. Like, I push back. I'm the co-founder of the Billionaire Zombies Club, and they're like, we want to do this, this, and this. And I go, you can't do that. That's a securities violation. And they're like, but I'm like, they could go to jail, but I'm not going to jail. And since I'm the only person who signs on the corporate entity, no. Like, I'm literally I'm the DAO president, basically.
Those are some rowdy boys.
26,000 unsupervised frat boys. Yeah, that's always fun. So, so the legal structure is super, super important. And since you three are going to be working together, you can divide and conquer, right? So Kay can handle the marketing and the publicity, and Terza can handle the tech, and Donna can handle the legal compliance operations, I dotting, T crossing. Do I need to FedEx you a writing crop?
You need to FedEx us whatever.
No, I mean, a writing crop. I always
She's
say,
joking.
sometimes you need it. I'm like, I need to have a little, when they have all the emoticons, so you can say hearts, hearts, hearts. I need a whip.
I'm surprised there isn't one.
There should be one. There definitely should be one. Okay. So your pre-launch strategy, this is where once you come together and you formulate your idea, that's the time you put it on paper and you start marking down and calendaring how long each piece is going to take, and then getting buy-in and agreement on this is going to be our launch date. That is going to be the other part that might require bottles of wine.
Yeah, I'm not good at that part.
Okay. The reason I say that is because your clients are going to want to launch, and this I said no. I said no to probably
You think they want to do it in half the time it actually takes?
Oh no, it was less than that. I said no to a household name that probably everyone in the world knows and or has heard. And I said no because she wanted to do it in 3 weeks. I'm like, no. 3 months. We can do 3 months. And unfortunately, one of my girlfriends was already on the project and she was the one being tortured with the 3 weeks. I'm like, I can't join you, honey. I love you. I'll totally support you. You can call me. We will have wine on Zoom. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. So be okay with saying no, because 20-hour days suck and 3 weeks of 20-hour days suck worse. And your community, this is going to be the fun part, post-launch and pre-mint and post-launch, your community managers, getting people who understand how to moderate and how to keep people excited, up, be informative, proactive. You need at least 3 because you don't want to burn them out. And you need to cover 24/7. So it is rough, and it can't, you cannot do everything. Your purpose as a consultant is to delegate, to identify what roles are needed, source them if necessary, internally, preferably. You always, if you can, want to train, because you're going to be working with larger brands. They have employees. Repurpose a few. Teach them, right? We'll have a whole guide on how to be a community manager. It's really, really important. And the other piece of it is a lot of big brands are afraid of using Discord because Discord is a black box that gives them no page rank. It is filled with spam and bots and scammers, and civilians get scammed. Even OGs get scammed at midnight before Christmas in 2021. And I got a DM that I was on the whitelist for Spooky Boys. And in the back of my mind, I'm so tired. And I mean, I had literally been awake for 21 days at that point on Billionaire Zombies Club. Because I was like, actually 2 months at that point, because it was right before Christmas and we launched on Halloween. So all of November, all of December, had not slept. And I just remember in the back of my head, Spooky Boys, that's supposed to be a good one. Okay. I mint, and the FOMO counter's going and going and going. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm waiting for it to hit my OpenSea and it's not there yet. And I know it takes time. And I'm like, oh fuck. And then the FOMO counter's going down. I'm like, I could mint another one. They're only $250. I'll mint another one. And I go to mint another one. And I'm like, but there's a limit of 5. I could mint 4 more. Oh my God. Okay. Yes. And I've got like 30 seconds and boom. And I mint. And right at that moment, with no backseas on blockchain, I realized that gas fee was really, really low. I just sent $1,500 to a scammer. I didn't actually execute a contract. Fuck. So then I went and I traced it all back. And at one point there was, how much was it? I think it was $8 million in that wallet. Because they basically transfer it to a wallet that has a smart contract that automatically transfers it to another wallet that has a smart contract that automatically transfers it over here. Most people don't go all the way back, and I traced it all the way back. Yeah, crazy. So you want to protect your community is my point, right? So this is part of the discussion is, do they already have a user community? Do they already have, if they're functioning relatively well in a Facebook group, okay, fine. But the key reason that I build communities on your own domain name is you can get banned, you can get deplatformed, you can get suspended, The platform could fail. It could be deplatformed. I mean, hell's bells if you had a community on Rumble, or not Rumble, on what was that? Parlor. The whole thing went down. You got nothing. So own and control everything. Everything, right? You want to make sure that when you're backing up your site, if you're going to be a small community, like at the moment we're in WordPress, I make sure every single backup goes to Dropbox. It's not on my server. If my hosting goes down or gets deleted or anything else, I can literally in seconds. Oh, my DNS is also not on my server. My DNS is on Cloudflare. Why? Because I can literally put it on other hosting, spin up new hosting, use Updraft, pull up my site. I have literally blown shit up and had it back up in 2 minutes on a whole new hosting. So always, always, always risk mitigation, right? You don't want a third party who doesn't like you, or you're doing an NFT of cats and they're a dog person and they're salty about the cat getting more popular. Like it can be that stupid nowadays. It really is. So everything is risk mitigation. And you want to make sure that your site is backed up daily, because you never know. And a backup plan to the backup plan, yes. But you always want to make sure that your backups are saved to Dropbox or Google Drive. But I do Dropbox because I have literally been on my phone in a foreign country when a client called and said, I forgot to pay my hosting bill and I haven't been paying attention to my website. So my plan got canceled, but they can't get the backups because it's been more than 2 months. So I bought a new hosting plan. Now what do I do? And I'm like, hold on, is your login the same? And he goes, yes. And I said, okay, boom. And from my phone, I restored his site in 6 minutes. So this is why it's just crucial that you have an operational plan for infrastructure, because and load testing. If you're going to have like 100,000 people hit your website at one time, you should not be on WordPress. So nothing. You have to make sure that your hosting is scalable enough, and you have to know what that is, right? Can you have 1,000 people on your site at one time? That is the reason that people use Discord, is because they'll have 20,000 people at once and it doesn't crash. Well, these are luxury problems. And at 20,000 people, you should be making enough money to pay for hosting that can handle 20,000 people concurrently, right? Okay, you have your hand raised. You guys don't have to raise your hands. You can always talk.
Oh my goodness, I've got a couple of questions here. So
yeah.
So is Discord the best place to have your community? Because there's that, you got Circle, you've got a few other places that people.
None of them.
Oh.
Here's the deal. If you've ever been in an NFT community, they're in there and they have it open all day. And they're chatting all day. 8 to 10 hours a day. Wouldn't
it feels like the worst of all evils?
Yeah, Discord is the worst of all evils, but just imagine all of that traffic living and sitting on your website, giving you a higher Alexa ranking, a higher page rank, a lesser bounce rate. Right? You are the one who is actually spending the money, the time, and the resources to generate that community in the first place. Why would you send them to somebody else to make money so that they have to pay $99 for a Nitro subscription and they're possibly going to get scammed and they've got to go through this whole thing? Well, thankfully, Collabland is actually legit to go through to do their Web3 login to verify that they actually have an NFT to get them into the private channel of the whales, right? Or to count the number of NFTs. You can do all of that in WordPress. You don't have to use Discord. You don't have to spend the extra money in Discord. And let me tell you, normal moderators cannot moderate Discord. You have to hire Discord moderators. And even if you go to a third world country, you are still paying about $3,000 to $5,000 a month for that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course, always.
So what you're stating is that you want, or you're suggesting that we build out our own
portal.
forum, our own portal. So are you saying a plugin, or are you saying starting from scratch and building it out for security purposes?
For a smaller community, so Minting the Future, I'm building it on WordPress as we launch. It will be rebuilt once we get to a certain number of users, because once you hit 50,000, it's hard to scale. Now you can, right? Huffington Post is a WordPress multi-site. Like you totally can. It just gets really, really expensive. And when you start to hit that number, right, between like 40,000 and 75,000, the amount of money that you're going to spend monthly to maintain that site almost means it's going to be cheaper to build a custom site that can scale. So you have to plan for that. You got to plan.
You're going to show us how to build that, right?
I'm actually going to make you a WordPress template, back it up, and then when you want to make a new site, you literally use Updraft, which is my clone thing. There is a subscription for that. I happen to love it. And you just go pop on the new domain, and then you change the colors and the logo and everything else.
Okay, fantastic.
But all the plugins will be in there. The other key thing that is I think I told everybody, but I didn't actually write it out explicitly. I have a number of developer tools, lifetime licenses, and unlimited licenses. For everything that I already have, you don't ever have to buy it. You guys are lifetime. So you get everything, like anything. Whatever you need, you call me and you say, I want to do this. What do you got? Right. And and someday we're going to take a field trip on all the shit that I've bought that I don't use. Okay. Because you might need it. And I bought it. I mean, I have the most killer. Oh my God. I have to set up the white label so it's under my branding, but you guys are all going to get it. It's literally a way to make reels, Insta stories, like, I mean, everything for your launch. And I'm going to build templates for it for NFT launches. And I already have Canva templates for NFT launches, but this makes it even stupid simpler. So all those kinds of things. And I have a few subscriptions to do NFT generative art. And I also have, I'm going to introduce you to Nifty Kit. Anyway, these are all the different platforms, tools, resources, things that you're going to need to do all this stuff. You can do them by hand, and I'm going to make you all mint a creator coin by hand.
Wow.
It's going to be fun. Now, the advanced ones, I tend to not do those by myself. So a typical creator coin, you basically say, I'm going to call it this. It's going to have this many decimal points, and I want to mint it to this wallet, and I want to mint this many. Or you're going to do an ICO, which you can or you can't. And I don't. I literally mint them all, stick them in a wallet, and then people can just buy them from the treasury. But that's like a crowdfunding thing where you're going to sell $5 million. And so that's literally all you need. What is the stock ticker? What's the ticker? What's the name? How many decimal points? That's all you need to know to mint. I can literally mint a shitcoin in less than 2 minutes and put it up for liquidity on Uniswap. Like I can put that shit for sale, like in 2 minutes. I kid you not. But the key piece here, if you could look back at BitClout, right? This is why you have to really interview about what do they want and why. So I want to have, a vanity token. Okay, great. You have a vanity token. What does it do? People can buy me. Buy you for what? So BitClout literally sold how many millions of dollars of Elon Musk? And Elon, he wasn't even there. Right? All those people, and it was a one-way on-ramp. You could literally send Bitcoin to get BitClout to buy shit, but you couldn't get the Bitcoin. You couldn't go backwards and get your Bitcoin back. Now they had such a firestorm. They rebranded to DSO because on BitClout, I'm sitting there going through the smart contract. I'm going through their website and I'm like, dude, I got your private keys. They're right there on the fucking, it's like right there. Oh yeah. The coding was so bad, right? I'm like, I should just go steal Elon's tokens.
I've noticed that
fucking giggles.
in general, everything is so fast in this wild west of getting everything done that managing client expectations becomes an issue, because they do come in and they see like these news articles about 9-year-olds who are minting like pixel whales and for millions of dollars, and expect to just walk in and be able to do that in like 2 days.
What
And
happened to Sarah's pixels?
we haven't done that yet.
That's going to be your project. We're going to do
Okay,
that.
that
The
could be
demo
my
project.
project. Yeah.
We're going to get it done. So,
Okay.
so her daughter is a phenomenal artist, and I think now it's been 2 years for Pixel Pixies. Started working on a little pixel generative project.
Could be. Yeah.
And never released it, but Jen did start learning how to actually code the smart contracts and mint and all that. So I've been trying for years to drag her in. But we're going to do that. I have decided that that is going to happen. So
Yeah, I just, yeah, in general, it seems like when like people come to me as a web developer asking about NFTs and stuff like that, they expect things to be able to happen very quickly.
Right.
And it's like, well, it's not just getting it published.
Right.
There's more to it than that. There's the project planning, the legal issues, the actual, where's the money going? There's a lot more to it. And it seems like people don't understand that.
How about a brand book? Let's just say, what's your color scheme? Do you have a brand book? Do you know your little codes? Are you using the same codes everywhere? Are you using the same font everywhere? Have you put it together in a little booklet that you can hand out to your team and say, don't fuck with me, use this?
Yeah, it's like
that shit up
they've
as you
forgotten
go. That's
how
not
the
Fiverr.
old way of doing things, where you actually have like a branding guide and a business plan, all that kind of stuff, and they come to you and they just say, well, I drew this,
right?
Give me my $1 million.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. And so managing client expectations, iPhone entered the waiting room. Who's flipping over? Whose iPhone? Ask to unmute. Did somebody go on the iPhone?
It looks like Kay went off. Maybe she's coming in on an iPhone. Is she there? Oh, so she moved. She's moving now. I see. I don't know.
I don't know who this is. iPhone.
It's me, Adrian JC. I'm sorry. I thought I changed it.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
Okay.
I just have to know who's here, because we have a what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of, deal going on. That's fine.
There's those Zoom bombers out there.
There are Zoom bombers out there. I'm going to rename you. So JC, you want to tell everybody who you are and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm JC Coffee. I've been in the cannabis industry for 13 years. Everything from licensing and compliance to cultivation, manufacturing, distro. I was the CEO of a vertically integrated micro business in California. We had the two dispense.
Oh, honey, you're breaking up.
Services, cultivation, distro.
Okay, JC,
That's about it. Hey, can you hear me now?
So I'm going to do your intro for you. JC is a badass. She's talking about cannabis, but what she's not explaining is, you know how to do it legally? It's like a mind-numbing amount of paperwork, negotiation, networking, meeting people, meetings, more paperwork, lawyers, orchestrating. She's the one who does all of that operationally. And to top it off, she is an extraordinary networker. You drop her in any room, she will literally find the best people in the room, and they will love her because she's practically a 6-foot tall fairy. She effervesces joy So that's JC. So she is amazing. Okay, so where was I before JC joined us? Let me go back to my little checklist. Oh, pre-launch. Okay, managing client expectations. When you put together everything, you figure out what you need. You have to make sure before you do the timeline launch and say, we're committing to this launch date, that you have actually acquired the team. So you need to make sure that you have the artist, you need to make sure you have the developer, you need to make sure you have the, partners. Let's talk about affiliate programs. Here's the other fun one. Affiliates in this space are very rare. Why? Because technologically, it's much more difficult to code a smart contract that includes an affiliate clause. Ours will. Why is this important? Because you can't, to do multi-level marketing, you need a license that it costs a lot. So you don't want to do that. You can, however, always do affiliate. So that's a super affiliate and affiliate, 2-tier. Easy peasy, done, legal, no brainer. So you have to have a way to tie in the Web3 blockchain hook that says this transaction was done that led, and have it send it back so you know which affiliate sent that purchaser to buy that NFT so that that person can get rewarded. Now, how do you reward somebody when you're buying a whole thing? It's not like you can carve off 10%. It's not like they buy tokens and they get 10% of the tokens as a reward. Doesn't work like that, right? So that's why you do the 2-piece. You have the NFTs and then you have the creator coin, where you put together, how is this going to work? What can they buy with it, right? Are they just buying access? Are they buying upgrades? Are they buying tickets to a concert? Are they buying services? Are like Filecoin, you buy your services. It's Dropbox for blockchain, right? And they sold out in seconds. I missed that ICO and I tried. I was right there on a DSL, everything ready to go, ready to hit that button. And I didn't get it because they basically had pre-sold everything out to all the hedge funds and the VCs. I hate that. So you always want to do a fair launch, right? That's another thing. If possible, it depends on who your client is. A fair launch means that the team participates exactly like the community. They don't get free NFTs. They don't get access to the super rares. They literally go mint like everybody else, right? Now you can compensate them out of the treasury with tokens if you create what's called a bounty program. So a bounty, you know what a bug bounty is? Like Facebook and other big enterprises have a bug bounty. You go find an exploit, and rather than hacking it and exploiting it for profit, you literally turn it in and then they give you a monetary reward. Right? So you can have a bug bounty program. You can also have a community enrichment program where if they provide content, or your moderators, everybody who's moderating your community can also get compensated in creator coins. You can also have it for marketing, right? Are they tweeting? Are they managing social media? I mean, this is what we're doing with Billionaire Zombies Club. And I have the entire thing architect. I literally have 100 jobs. There's 100 jobs to run a DAO where you are literally not a corporate hierarchy, right? Everybody can do what they want to do. The problem is when nobody wants to do anything, because they were all 14 years old and nobody bothered to tell me that. I had 26,000 unsupervised frat boys. Nope, I had 24,000 of those 26 were unsupervised junior high school kids, and their parents were out of town. That's what I got. And I'm zombie mama. So I'm literally the mama. That's where the riding crop came in. Like, I got to take it out sometimes. Okay. So community management. So getting up to the managing expectations, mapping out your project plan. You need to have KPIs, like when is this done, right? Things can't slip, because if things slip, everything else slips. I used to do quality assurance. I did it for banking. I used to break into banks for a living. It was super fun. So by the time the developers were done, it was my job to basically break it and steal all the money. I usually had 2 months for this in the project plan. Without fail, the sales team would go out and sell something that would then have to be added to the development that would push the timeline out, but our delivery date never moved. So I would get like 2 weeks instead of 2 months, right? So add a little padding when you're doing your launch plan, and then make sure that you have the systems in place so you can keep track of everyone. Project management is the killer. To this date, and I have been looking, you can ask Ian, how many times have I cried over this? Looking for the proper project management platform that actually works for NFTs, that works like Microsoft Project in the 90s, where I had a little plugin that tied into my Microsoft project that would go in my Outlook, and I could literally see the status of my project very, very easily. Can somebody just remake that? I've tried at least 20 project management platforms, and I don't know
I
what
don't,
with everyone's.
I don't have one for you, but you might know how we used to say there's an app for that.
Yeah.
These days, you're going to start saying there's an AI for that.
Yes. Well,
There will be one.
It would be lovely. And there is an AI for that, actually. And I did buy that AI, and I am testing it, because literally you put in all of your project requirements, you do this, you put the whole thing in there, and it will literally resource allocate and go, here's your Kanban chart. Right? But it's the communication piece, right? So I'm not a fan of Slack. I'm not a fan. And the other reason I'm not a fan of Discord is, like, especially for managing a DAO, the document repository, like finding a document that somebody shared, all of those things, it's not good for working on something, right? And when it comes to the community, things get lost, because if you have a vibrant community like we do, somebody will post something and within 30 seconds, that's like 20 pages up. If you are not, and that's why they're like this, they can't not look. They can't take their eyes off the screen. Oh my God, they're going to miss something, right? You want that level of obsession on your own website, but you also want to make it so that they can go back and find something and search for something, and, you know, and just like in Discord, but easier, you can actually use your tokens as a reward for community participation. So you can have contests and gamification. I've outlined some gamification in here. Just as an example, I play solitaire. My whole life, I've played solitaire. My favorite solitaire app, every day that you log in, you get a surprise amount of a bonus, right? Because it costs something to play, right? And then you also get, every 2 hours, you can claim 5 Zs, which it costs Zs to play if you're not playing for money. I don't play for money. So literally it's been like 4 years. I've not spent a dime on solitaire, but I've made over 100,000 tickets. Now, the fun part about the tickets, if I want a Tesla, it's 20 billion tickets. So it's going to take me a while, right? If I want a bike, it's 2 million tickets. Keep in mind, I've been playing 4 years. I have 100,000 tickets. I might be able to get a t-shirt. So, but here's the gamification in crypto, okay? Because those tickets are just tickets. They don't have a value. It's just one, and it never changes from one, right? The key piece with this creator coin idea is it rewards early adopters who are incentivized to participate to get those early rewards before the token is worth much. So they start creating this huge bag because they were there first from the very beginning. So when they share things, right? And you can do prizes, you can do giveaways, you can do all sorts of things that incentivize them to share on social. The affiliate program is to recruit their friends, right? Who is the top referrer this week? There's a prize bucket for that, right? It's all about community engagement and re-engagement. It's not just getting them, it's getting them to stay and bring their friends and have their friends bring their friends, right? So the gamification is everything. And I don't care what brand you are, you want those viewers, you want those users, right? That's why in the early times, the most important thing is to say, look, what is your end goal? Do you want a vibrant, viral community? where you can literally put up a giveaway and say, everybody, this is the prize package, but I need you to do this. And boom, you could do a new store opening, right? Now I don't know, 100 really, really, really freaking good business ideas. I'm never going to do them all. I'm creating an idea bank. Y'all can just go in there and go, that looks great. Oh, my disk is almost full. Okay. Apparently, I am not recording to the cloud. I'm recording to my actual hard drive. Oops. I should have been recording to Dropbox. Oops. Okay.
Do you need to
So
restart?
no, it's just saying it's almost full. So that means we're going to have to wrap up tonight at some, well, when it's full, it's full. Oops. Okay, so you have to find out, do they just want to make sales and they don't care about the community? But I always remind them at that point, the mantra of internet marketing, this is literally the universal law. One email earns you $1 per month. You want them on the email. Even more than that nowadays, you want their mobile number. You need them opted in to an SMS because that's a 98% read rate. But here's the killer part. When you do your communities, right? And I'm going to make you guys passes. So I'm going to be in your phones. I'm going to do to you what you're going to do to everybody else. You're going to actually experience it. I figure experiential learning is the best way. If it's hard to get somebody to download an app, but they want to be a member of a community, if you can't make them buy an NFT, you get them to download a community pass. It's like a boarding pass. But what happens when there's a boarding pass? Well, when they change your gate, they push notify you. Goes to your phone. When you get to the airport, it says, your flight's boarding in this many minutes, or this is the thing, or whatever. They can push notify you. Why can they do that? Because they're in your phone, in your wallet. That is the fastest way to onboard. So everybody, that's the new whitelist. They basically sign up to your email, but if they want a priority, they put that wallet pass in their phone. And the wallet pass notifications go out 15 minutes before the email with the minting link. Boom. Then what can you do with those wallet passes? How many people remove things from their wallet? Well, they don't. I literally cleared it out the other day because my flight was delayed. So I just sat there and I cleared out my boarding passes, and I had boarding passes in there from 2016. How'd they just like 8 phones since 2016? How do I have that many? I mean, I fly a lot, but seriously, how do I have that many boarding passes? But people very rarely remove their club cards, right? I've got my Starbucks card in there. I've got, here, let's see what I got in here. Go to my wallet. Okay, so I have all my credit cards in my wallet. But then I have, can you see that? I have all those, right? By the way, I have my own little community pass. And then, so what happens is it says flip to back. Hold on. I have to flip pass details. Nope. Where's it? Flip. Nope. Flip. Why is it not flipping? Darn it.
But this kind of bounces me back to, client expectations too, is if you build and publish these NFTs for a client and no one ever sees them, it's kind of like, if an NFT is published in the forest and no one ever sees it, then it doesn't really matter. So
Yes, I
including
found
those expectations up front that, I can build you this, but if we don't build in the necessity for people seeing it, the community, then it doesn't mean anything.
Right. I literally just found more boarding passes. I deleted all the boarding passes But I now found I'm deleting 32 more. I'm like, oh, that's where all the things. But my IKEA cards in here, Chick-fil-A, Steak and Shake, Cinemark, Marriott, Starbucks, Eventbrite, Hertz, Progressive, right? Like you want to be in there because what that means, and especially for artists, right? For musicians, how I built and architected and designed this is when you're in here, you can push notify and geofence and push notify. So say they have 100 million fans, right? They got 100 million Instagram fans. Well, they can't talk to those people. So they have to move them over. At the very least, get a membership card in their phone. Better have a membership, a subscription on the website in the community where they can start earning rank. It is insane what people will do for a blue check. We're going to go into my whole smart IID thing on how you keep your community safe. When you put that in there and when you integrate that, which will be available probably 30 to 60 days, then you have no spammers, you have no bots, you have no ghosts, and you have no fake people, and they have to honor their word and their actions. They have to be responsible for their words and their actions, which means your community behaves better, which is like, it's golden. It's social credit, right? But they're earning social currency by being helpful, right? People can reward them. They can tip them. There's all these different things you can do with your creator coin in your community. And with this wallet pass, if I'm a musician and I'm going to have a pop-up concert in Los Angeles, I can say geofence LA plus 50 or just Los Angeles plus 5, just to get the outskirts. And push notify everyone and say, pop-up concert, 3 hours, be here. You'll sell out. My girlfriend does it. She sells out. It's like there's a line around the corner trying to get in because they're usually these little clubs and you can only have like 150 people in the club, and she's got like 500 waiting around the corner waiting for people to leave so that they can get in. That makes an artist feel really good because they make their money touring, right? So we only made it to I'm afraid my thing's gonna go. Apologies in advance if it does. I'll have to re-record later. I wonder if I can record and save to the cloud if I stop now. Okay, chats. Let's see, we have a chat. Ooh, I like this. Kay, I'm glad you like this. Okay, so pre-launch, you get your dates done. You're doing your launch. Magazines, okay, as you know, need a 60-day at least, sometimes 6 months lead. Newspapers need, if you give them a month and say we're launching on this date, I'm going to give you an exclusive. You need to give them that time. So you need to put your marketing pieces at the front. You have to know what you're marketing and when the timelines are and start reaching out to those people ahead of time. Or when you launch, you're launching into a void, right? You cannot just use social media. You have to use mainstream media. So how do you figure out what you're going to get mainstream media to talk about? They like exclusives, right? So you take the top 10 outlets and you give them each a tiny piece so they all have exclusives and a different angle, but they're all talking about you. Right? So then you do your launch. Now, the key piece about doing your launch, there's a test net for a reason, people. Why does nobody ever use it? Why do people launch on the main net and have things crash and not work and transactions fail? Why do they do that?
It makes me sad. It makes me sad.
It makes me sad. It's like, I'm sorry, in the real world, for those of us who've worked in corporate enterprise development, you have a development server. Every single piece of code is unit tested and then integration tested on the development server. And then you have a staging server where you hopefully install it all correctly. And then you beat the fuck out of it and make sure you can't crash it. And then you load test it to make sure 1 million people can hit it all at once. And then you deploy it to production where it should be perfect. Except sun.com didn't do it my way. Cut our time to this. And I literally went click, 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 trying to buy a server. And I crashed the entire thing, the whole freaking thing. They had to roll it back. I'm like, I wasn't even trying hard. That was me as just a normal, typical web browser. I wasn't even on the inside. That was just me from outside. So testing, 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 always. Now, one more thing, audit, audit, audit. It's a big thing to have audits and white papers. White papers is a business plan. Substitute financials for tokenomics. Make sense? So what does the token do? How does it work? What is the encryption? What's the consensus method? You guys are going to, you're going to hate me on that week. Consensus mechanisms and blockchains. Proof of work, proof of stake, proof of time, proof of history. That's going to be, look, your eyeballs. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Your eyes just went. That's going to be a fun week. And if you guys want me to do that separately as an extra, like, because you don't want to get technical, it's in a few weeks. So you can let me know ahead of time and say, we want to access it when we want it, but we don't want it right now. We just want to consult. And I'll just do a brief little overview of all of them. Otherwise, we'll deep dive. Okay, so your white paper is part of your marketing materials. Your brand package is part of your marketing materials. All of these things, I say do them first. Because if you don't know what you're building, you're not going to build it correctly, which is why the white paper is so critical. Your brand is so critical because you can't actually build the website and do all of the other things until you have your brand solidified. I am 95% there on minting the future. I'm on like iteration 31 and I'm still not happy, which is why I haven't been able to get it as far along as I want, because until I actually get the brand, I can't finish everything else or I have to redo everything else. Does this make sense? So you want to make sure you get your brand solid. You always, 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 let me repeat, always want to have matching socials. I use a website called Knowem, Knowem. Oh, honey, Kate, you're going to sleep. I'm so sorry. You're so cute. It's 2:00 in the morning in London. So Knowem, Knowem.com is a great way to just like figure out what your social handles could be, where you could get Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Telegram, WhatsApp, all of them. You want to get all of them, matching socials. Your URL could be like, my URL is mintingthefuture.com, but my social handle is mintingfuture because it needed to be shorter. Shorter's better, just make sure they all match. And you have to be able to trademark it. Those are your brand considerations. You have to be able to trademark it. If you can't trademark it, you're either violating somebody else's trademark, and then right as you're at the pinnacle of making a lot of money, you're going to have to give a lot of it away in compensation for using
Isn't that like a 6-month process?
Oh, no. So you do the trademark research.
Okay.
You put up the website, you file the trademark, you put the little TM at the end, and you're fine. As long as there's nobody else in your category. You have to file the trademark. You don't have to be issued the trademark first.
As long as you're in the queue first.
As long as you're in the queue first. And it's $254 per category class. There's no reason not to. It's literally like TurboTax. If you've ever used TurboTax, you can file a trademark. The research is harder, and I will show you how to do that. Or I have great IP attorneys. And it sounds like Donna does too. So, okay, 8:38. We're gonna lose Kay. I think we're gonna do a follow-up. My disc is about to be full too. I had it scheduled for an hour and a half. Do we have any questions so far? Because I want to go through. The next thing we're going to do is launch and then post-launch. So we got all the way up to planning the launch. Yes.
So the whole legal stuff and trading and everything like that. Now, because Terza, Donna, and I are doing it together, and I'm in the UK, they're in the US, is it separate? Are the legalities different? Do we need to look at country to country? How does that work?
That would be where to domicile and why. That's a whole section, and it's a doozy because everybody has different blockchain laws. Some countries are fine with crypto, some are not. Some treat NFTs like crypto, some are not. In the United States, if you purchase an NFT with a credit card, and sell it later, it is not a capital gain. If you purchase it with crypto and sell it later, it is. Little fun things to plan. So when you're architecting your launch, you want to ensure that your consumers, that your people can all buy with a credit card. It makes it so much easier, paying 3.5% to save them capital gains. Now, there's a way to do it. It's super easy. You integrate NFT pay. They take the credit card chargeback risk, and you get the money immediately.
With NFT in your experience, when I was talking to them originally, they were saying that they take a 5% on top of the credit card, which is 2 to 3%.
I didn't hear him say. I was just with him. He lives here in Miami, and we just had lunch the other day, and he didn't mention that part of the fee, but I will look into it. There's another one that will do it, and it's called CrossMint, and they're also here in Miami. So you have multiple choices. What NFT Pay does is it mints it into a custodial wallet. So it's a custodial wallet. The NFT is literally not at the pawn shop, but basically not at risk of being stolen or sold, right? So if they did a chargeback, and if they want to move it, they can, but they have to do a full KYC, AML, everything. And they also have to release any chargeback rights in order to take it and move it to somewhere else. But but again, if it's a credit card, they don't pay capital gains later. You're doing your community a service, and you're not, like, Polygon is really it's getting better. And now that Polygon is on OpenSea and you can buy it with MoonPay right there on OpenSea, you can use a credit card to buy Matic, but then it gets confusing. It's like, I've got Matic, I've got Wrapped ETH, I've got ETH, I got all these different tokens, and I have $25 in Matic, and I have $45 in ETH, but I want to buy a $50 NFT. So then I got to swap some of that Matic, or I just pay with a credit card. Right? So mapping out the whole, the UX, right? Your customer journey, that's a big piece. What is that customer journey going to look like? I saw another hand. Donna?
That's me.
Okay.
I had a couple of quick questions. So the PDF that's in here is on Dropbox. Those are the notebooks, let's say, for the next 2 weeks. Week 1.
There's more. No.
Okay.
But
they're on Dropbox.
That's the sample track on the corner.
Okay, but I want to make sure your visuals, did we have visuals for while you were talking right now? We did not, right? Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something.
No. So basically,
I was supposed to be looking at something on the
So what you're saying is that when I do the beta version, there should be PowerPoints.
No, I just wanted to make sure that since I didn't have this in time, I didn't get a chance to check the platform Minting for the Future and the login. I wanted to make sure I wasn't supposed to be on there while you were talking.
Nope. But there will be a PowerPoint in the next version.
Okay.
This version, you guys are basically my review.
Okay.
Right?
Like I was just double checking. No, everything's cool.
Yeah.
And
because I want to add but I don't know what I'm going to say until I've said it.
Okay. No, I talk off the top of my head too mostly, so it's cool. So, and then my last thing was, there was some notes that had people's name on it for attendance, and my name's not there.
No.
I wanted to make sure my name was there. There was something that you text out earlier when you clicked it for notes.
The calendar. No, I added you. Didn't you? Didn't you send me a thing and say, add me?
Yeah, but that was one thing. But then when you click on something, there was something on a platform that talks about attendance.
She's talking about the doc that's in the email that you sent out.
The Google Doc, right?
Yeah, there's a Google Doc, and I don't think her name is in the Google Doc written down.
I will check it. I haven't seen it. It said, would you like to add notes to this? And I said, yes.
Yeah, because I'm not on there, so I couldn't, I don't have editing, and then my name's not there. And that's why I said to you, if you need to use the Gmail account for anything, feel free. It's just that I don't check that. That's my junk mail for vendors, this, that, and the other, like PayPal, you
Yep.
go in the store and they want an email address, that's what I use Gmail for, but the other one is the communications. Okay, I just want to make sure I had everything. You know, I'm an old school girl.
No,
I'm
I
old
love it.
school. I'm
I
just
love it.
checking. I'm compliance. I am compliant. You got the right one in compliance.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
And crossing your T.
Yeah, I think that's fabulous. Okay. Do we have any more questions?
One more.
Yeah, you can ask
Um,
as many as you want.
So you spoke about gamifying all of this, and what the end result is. Is it building a community? Is it getting sales? Is it getting leads? What if you want to do all of the above? Do you have to create separate ones?
Nope.
Or you can combine it into one?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh, baby, just wait. Just you wait. I came up with this thing for Reno, and it is a way to gamify and incentivize conventions to come to Reno. So we have 8 or 10, I don't know. We have a lot. But Art Walk is one of them. And I'm like, oh, art, NFTs. And people don't buy postcards anymore. However, they love to go on adventures, right? Geocaching is a thing. So imagine an augmented reality kind of geocaching where not only can they walk around the city and we have these big murals, they can go to galleries, there's beacons we can ping, right? Because they have a wallet pass in there for going on the walking tour, but it'll all download into their wallet and they'll get bonuses. And you tie it in with the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce, people offer 2-for-1 lunches for the kids cheerleading thing all the time. Like the small businesses already do a lot of this local promotion. They would love to have another outlet, right? And you got 800,000 people coming to town. Would you like to get in front of 800,000 people? Well, you can't, right? So that's a whole thing. And augmented reality is really cool because you hold it up and it literally comes to life, but it can also come to life and you can press the thing and then
one of my friends actually does all of that and creates it and it comes to life and I'm like, holy crap, what is this now? Oh my goodness.
I think that's what Meow Wolf in Denver does too.
Yes.
Yep.
And so these are all the things that can be done. So it doesn't matter if it's a local business. It doesn't matter if it's an online only business. It doesn't matter if it's a brand or an artist or a baseball team. It doesn't matter. NFTs can be integrated into anything as long as the underlying thing is about elevating awareness, because you're going to add transparency, communication. You don't own your audience. Like I think it's called Conversation, is an SMS app. And in the little terms of service, right? And everybody in the coaching business, everybody started using it, right? And it's like almost a one-to-many semi-automated text messaging back and forth, right? Well, the problem is in the little text, it says they are not your opt-ins. You are paying for software as a service. They are opted into the platform, not to you, which is why you can't download the email addresses of your Facebook group members anymore, because they're not opted into you. They're opted into Facebook.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why you send them to a landing page first.
Always.
Yeah, got it.
Always send them to a landing page first. Always get their email address. Always get their mobile app. Incentivize them to download a wallet pass. Then at least you can push notify them, which costs a lot less than an SMS text, by the way, which is why you want to be in their phone. Plus, with an SMS text, you can't geolocate them, right? So you basically incentivize them when they participate in the community enough and they hit a certain level, which you can make a really low threshold. Then you go, you've reached this level. You qualify for this. Boom. Right? And those push notifications are for super secret access. And if they get push notified, then they can get access to either participate in a game or participate in a Twitter space or do something else that can earn them those creator coins. So having that wallet pass gives them the opportunity to get free money. Right?
Wow.
It's super fun, right? You guys are all going to be able to do this, talk like this, and ideate like this in 12 weeks, if not sooner. You're all going to specialize. I guarantee you. You're literally going to take one thing that's going to set your soul on fire and you're going to absolutely love it. And you are going to master that thing better than anybody else. And then you'll be expert at all the rest of it. But you're going to just like, I swear, everybody I've ever taught has always found their thing.
Do you know what? I'm already like, mine's ticking away. Like, okay, I'm gamifying my podcast. I'm going to be doing these prizes for t-shirts. I can turn it to some sort of NFT. And yeah, I'm like, all these things. There was one thing I was thinking that could be an NFT in the podcasting thing. And now I'm like, oh my God, there's so many other ways that you can do this.
Oh yeah. Guess what? Okay, I'm going to do a case study just for you on podcasts. I didn't have it in the list, but I will. Here's why. Blender is free. And I have the template to make t-shirts. Metaverse, wearable t-shirts. And you can also do your podcast in the metaverse. You can literally record it in the metaverse with an audience there, and you're all metaverse characters, and you record that, and then that turns into a video podcast that's on YouTube.
Oh my goodness. What?
So monetization wise, you want to use Bcast because you can use dynamic ads, which means when you're selling your sponsorship, you can sell it for a month or you can sell it for a year. It's not built in. You don't have to do any re-editing because you just have your bumpers, your ins and outs, and then boom, it dynamically slots it in. So then if you're going to be speaking at a conference, you literally send them, and you always send them to your domain name, always, even if it's an affiliate. And then you have a quick page post redirect, then that will redirect them in a new window to buy a ticket to the conference that you're speaking at, and you get an affiliate commission for that. But the reason you want to do it that way is you always want to be driving people to your website. So you can literally put that ad in there, 2 months before, and then when that conference is over, you replace it. That's the other thing you do with Listen to Earn, is for 24 hours, every time it drops, that first 24 hours, there is an ad in there that is the Listen to Earn code, and it sends them to the link where they, boom, can get their POAP. If you want to use POAP, you can use POAP. If you want to do it on your own with a redeemable, you can totally do it on your own.
That's a lot. Wow, there's a lot going on there.
Well, what we'll do is we will design for you your entire architecture. And then are you on Facebook on the podcast guest exchange?
No.
Oh, there's like thousands of people with podcasts. And then you and I will go in and we'll do a master class on how to use NFTs in podcasting. And then you'll do it all.
Okay, fantastic.
Because remember, I don't have clients anymore. It's all up to you guys. Look at her eyes. No, I have a few legacies that I still do anything for, but no more no. I'm not executing anymore. I'll do advisory. That's it. But I'm not executing anymore. It's just I have
you belong to us.
Huh?
And that's it. That's fine. Or you belong to us and that's it.
Right. And there will be more of you eventually, but you guys are my lifetime. I married all of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're all hand chosen, by the way, or approved, right? Like if you guys didn't come from Casey, you probably wouldn't have known about it, because I'm super, super, like, I have to love everyone in my lifetime programs because I've married you.
Mm-hmm.
You get me forever. So that's a big deal.
No take backsies.
Huh?
No take backsies.
No take backsies. No. So yeah, so you can do a podcasting thing. That's the other thing. If you ever need me to do a webinar with you, I'm a great interviewer. I can play the journalist and you can play the expert, but I'm also your trapeze net. So I can feed you stuff and lead you if necessary. But we can do all those.
Okay.
But my goal is for you guys to have, and that's the other thing about scaling, right? I have found it's been interesting because variety is like one of my highest needs, but it's also the most chaotic. Is everything I do is custom, literally everything. You could scale better, faster, and execute with higher quality because it's repetitive if you do a podcasting program. This is your podcast. This is how we're going to do it. Boom, 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 boom. What changes? The content, the colors, the art. The framework, absolutely the same. If you stick to the same framework, it's bulletproof, right? So that's the key. So Donna, you're gonna have fun because enterprise and all. If one person says stakeholder, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. That is all you get. Every single Fortune 100 that comes across my desk, I'm just gonna hand them. I'm not even gonna talk to them. I'll be like, go. Talk to Donna. Talk to Donna. Don't talk to me. I'm not.
So I don't want to go before Patricia. So Patricia had a hand up longer than I.
That's so sweet of you. I'm probably the farthest behind of everybody on this. So this is going back to the gamification portion. I understand gamification, but I don't understand how to choose that so that people would be interested in it. That's where I get lost. So how do we direct ourselves there to figure out what's going to engage people?
Well, that's again, just like saying I'm hungry. So which people, which industry, you have to abide by the rules and regulations for each industry, right? So in healthcare, one of the best things that you can do is you can do wellness challenges where it's gamified by getting and staying healthy, integrating with Nike Run. You can literally have a runners club that rewards them with certain things. And you can actually make it community based. So, anyone who is in a particular city, just like next door on the health platform, you could literally have have these fun runs or things like that, where it ends up being a community of runners in this particular city. So runners can find each other if you want to do that, or you could do it on other platforms if you don't want the liability of social community on an insurance platform. So it depends on what it is. But if you look in the handout, I have 3 pages of gamification. I think there's 9 different kinds, right? So you have random rewards, loyalty rewards, skill-based rewards, achievement level rewards, all these different types. And they can all be applied because those are like the ethos, the strategy, not the what.
I'm glad you said that because my mind was going on, ooh, do they want to watch surgeries? So I was not quite as fun as you. So I'm glad I asked that question.
Always ask. If I don't see the hands raised, I'm not that formal. So thank you, Donna, for noticing that she had her hand raised because I didn't see it. And you can just unmic and ask me a question, interrupt if you like.
Adrian,
thanks.
Would her question also be in the category of partnership and affiliates? So since you're talking about fitness, there's a number of NFT fitness apps that she can partner with to also help grow her community and whatnot.
Absolutely. So that's partnerships and joint ventures are a separate piece, but the gamification, because it would be gamified on the partners app. So to gamify on your app would be something different, but you can actually reward them on your app for their activity on another app. So it does not have to be exclusively your game. Is that what you were saying?
Got it. Thank you.
Good job, Ian. Ian speaks fluent Adrian. So years of experience.
I do have a question about startup.
Okay, hang on one second because Donna had her hand up next.
Sure.
Oh, okay, thank you. So my question goes into the legal side and maybe structure, I'm not sure, governance, for the 3 of us. So initially right now, the game plan is on Friday. I have a full service law firm, one of the partners coming to talk to us on Zoom, because in my head, there's different ways we could do this. But it seems like the simplest way is to just do everything that's NFT Web3. That's the new entity. We still keep our businesses, but that piece is where we can really bring the power, the higher volume with the higher customers and get more for the bang if we join together. Anything that's Web3 going forward. With that said, it sounds like I heard so much that the traditional attorneys, I don't think all of them are there in that space yet. I don't think she is, But when they get there, you still need a traditional attorney in this space. Everything can't be relied on with smart contracts. Did I
Nope.
hear that right?
You heard that right. So basically your entity structure is 3 separate corporations, each of you in your own domicile, one in another country. And then 1 LLC. I would suggest Wyoming only because Wyoming is very blockchain friendly. So if you want to do other things, you can. However, it's even better because in Wyoming, you can do a series LLC. That series LLC top one is owned by the 3 of you. And then every time you guys do a project, you can do a joint venture. You do it, you open up a series under it, and that becomes your deal box with its own EIN number, its own bank account, its own structure.
Okay, so you know exactly what I'm saying because you don't want the lines to be blurry.
I don't
and
do
you
blur
don't
lines.
want, yeah, because you want to make sure the relationships stay intact. But so you understand where I'm at, and that was the only way I could think about it as I was seeing this as us coming together. So that's a conversation for another day. I just wanted to make sure I was really thinking right and leading the group, at least for this conversation, in the right manner with options to evaluate. And as we learned going forward, figure out what we'd like to do. And with Kay, we wanted to be an international company. So between, you know, us being women, ethnic backgrounds are different, cultures different, races different, there's a lot of benefits to that. And then our strengths together gives us more bang to be a real formative corporation.
Exactly.
As we go forward. Like I'm coming all the way in.
Yeah.
We coming all the way in.
Yeah.
Chairs of the lead, but we coming all the way in.
The 4 of us are going to have a conversation before you talk on Friday, because that's one of the things that I promised that I was going to do with you guys is literally hammer out your corporate structure with you so that you really understood everything and the benefits and why and how you can literally take this Wyoming series LLC and you can do a foreign corporation registration in London to have a second office in London. So she can literally have a bank account in London with the corporation. You can have a bank account here and you don't have to keep, so you just have 2 pools. You have some in pounds and some in dollars.
But at least we can be considered global and international. It would still mix up with my digital and the countries I'm in now. And the other thing, lastly, was most important is that Tears is an artist. There's things that she's done on her own that she's bringing to the table that I felt she still needed to have as her own.
Yeah, of course she does. It's intellectual property. She owns it.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to really approach that or think about it in my own head, but we're on the same page. So thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. It's done. It's all done. I know exactly what you're going to do. I'm going to tell you what I think you're going to do. You can do what you want, but I'm going to tell you how I think it should be structurally organized and why, and the drawbacks for not doing it a particular way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we'll still meet with the traditional attorney though, since she's coming in on Friday.
Absolutely, but I'm going to meet with you first. So then you'll have
so you're going to do that before Friday? 11
yeah.
o'clock?
She's going to tell you lots of things that aren't right.
Oh, well, that would be fat. Well, I think so, but I don't want to cancel her because she's.
No, you don't cancel her. You're going to get her to vet your idea. You're going to say, this is what we'd like to do.
Yeah, we wasn't giving up any information. We wasn't saying who we were because it's confidential. We were just going to vet the information and go from there. So, okay, so I'll still do that.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a meeting with you either before or after, but whatever works. Okay, we're on this. Okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
I knew it was cool, but this is really cool because, you know, I get stressed. I'm girl compliance, you know, I'm either compliance in the airline industry or compliance in pharmaceutical. And now you're telling me I'm compliance again. So thank you.
It's your strong suit. And just wait. I'm going to drag you with me one time when I do hedge funds and family offices. So I'm going to take you with me and you're going to be like, here's 100 different projects and they're all different. And I'll just go plow through 95 of them, throw them out. And I'm like, we can look at these 5.
Kay knows me well. Thank you, Kay. Seems like you shared a lot with her. You and Tessa. But they know me well. Thank you.
It was great. Okay, Ian, you said something about startups.
There was your startup list is what I was saying. Number 1, you were talking about operations manager AI that you mentioned before that you were testing out. I was wondering if you share which one that is, because I'm interested in having a look at it.
Let's make sure I don't refund it first. I just got it.
Yeah, what's the name of it? I just want to have a look.
Oh, I don't know. I can't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
It's on AppSumo.
It's on what?
AppSumo. I'm going to put it in the resources list. I'm literally going to say, this is where I buy all the cool shit where I get developers licenses, commercial rights, unlimited and lifetime.
Cool.
Like I don't go direct anywhere. I always go through it's JVZoo, Warrior Plus, and AppSumo. And I get all my stuff there. Why? Because I would rather pay $297 once instead of pay $500 a month for the rest of my life.
So I'm having a similar, I agree with you 100% on the creating your forum directly on your site,
Yeah.
but I'm having a few different conversations with a few companies about this specific thing, and everyone wants to move everything to Discord, and it's just from the clientele that they have in the age bracket, it just doesn't seem it's going to work, and they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. So I'm wondering, when you've come across people that have had this same conversation where they're on one side of the table saying, no, we need to use Discord because this is the standard, and this is for security purposes, this is the easiest. What is your retort?
My retort is very, very simple. And the reason that we do the branding first is because the branding gives you the customer avatar, right? Mm-hmm. Once you have the customer avatar, you can literally show the demographics of the people that use Discord and are comfortable with it, and who the most likely to get scammed are. Mainstream civilians, of which that is 95+% of the population, cannot use Discord safely. Crypto natives, younger, millennials, gamers, absolutely they can. However, the benefits of giving them a platform where they're already on it, if that happens to be your ideal, okay, but you're losing out on the benefits for PageRank, searchability, Googleability, right? You're literally costing yourself an extra couple $100,000 in ad spend and marketing dollars and SEO to get people to notice, because getting them to your Discord, civilians will, maybe they'll log in, they'll never be there, and they will never get a message. And they won't download the app on their phone, so they won't get a push notification, or they'll turn all their notifications off and they turn DMs off because that's the safety protocol. So then if that isn't enough, if you cannot reason with them when it comes to matching, you have to meet your customer where they are. Meet them where they are. Don't try and drag them Mad Max style to the fucking Thunderdome of Discord. So then I'm going to make a handout that says, do you really want your community on Discord? And I'm going to put in a collection of things that are said in Discord, the culture of Discord, and the fisting gif. It's literally a Jell-O butt mold and a guy going in the back of the butt mold. That was my first experience with Discord. If your community will think that's funny, then maybe it's an appropriate choice. If your community would be like, we have to clean up the Discord, you're wasting money and time. So, and if you don't spend the $500 to $600 a month on the security tools and the automations, it is a nightmare.
So when you're talking about the security tools, what security tools are, well, I guess you're going to get into that from when you're building it out directly on your site. So being able to look at it from hackability, it's pretty much par and par with what Discord offers to what you're suggesting.
No, mine's better.
Okay, cool. And then with
you also don't get people's emails in Discord. You can only communicate with them on Discord.
Building up this platform on your site, what is the average cost that it costs to be able to build that one out?
So I'm buying everything, and then I'm buying all the tools. To be legal, we'd need to buy another license for the theme. And that's about $450, $500, give or take, because it has a full NFT marketplace. Oh, by the way, so you have your front page, which is your basic website. Then you have your community, which is like an entire social network. Then you have your forums, which is all, there's a whole chat thing in there, which is just like Discord, but you can also have your social social pieces like Facebook. So it's like Facebook and Discord in there. Then you also have your marketplace. You have an entire NFT marketplace where your community can buy your things. They don't pay the 3.5% OpenSea fee, and they also don't buy fakes, because the only thing that's listed there is your shit, because you put the contracts in there and said only these are for sale. So you have your community and you incentivize your community with the savings so they don't pay the platform fees in other marketplaces. And then you also drive everyone, instead of driving them to OpenSea, you drive everyone to your website. So on OpenSea, you will have your profile, you'll have your everything, you'll even go for the blue check. But you're going to drive, it's going to say right there, you know, be safe, buy it directly on our marketplace. Only our official contracts are for sale and no platform fees. Right. And you can get people. Yeah. So, and there's a bunch more on top of that. Plus there's also a portal to the metaverse. You can do live streaming. You can have a whole, you want to have your AMAs, your Ask Me Anythings. People are doing them on Twitter Spaces. They're doing them in Discord. But it's not like on camera and all that other stuff. You can do it in the metaverse where everybody is a metaverse avatar. You could do it on camera and stream it like live television, just like, you know, and make it a really big event. I have distribution to 600 million households via television, OTT, over the top. So if you guys wanted to build communities where you're Ask Me Anythings, I could literally make an AMA channel, and everybody's AMAs could be live streamed to that channel. Right? So there's nothing like having everything under, and all of that activity. Google is like, holy shit, it's sticky. They're there for 10 hours. They're going to like 75 different pages, right? The bounce rate is, I mean, my goal is to beat my bounce rate on Yelp Sucks, which was less than 1%. So people,
Are there any
visit my
projects that have
website.
done this already?
What?
Are there any projects that have done this already?
No.
Okay.
No, because the reason they're not doing it is because a custom build to do everything that I want to do, the bids are probably $500,000, give or take. I'm doing it in WordPress with duct tape and WD-40, but it's going to work. It is working, right? And with that, once I put this up, I'll literally clone it. I'll take out all my shit to make it into a blank, and then back it up. There you go. Then you literally have a template.
Cool.
Right? And the template will have marketplace, all the forums. That's the key. All the forums, all the this, all the this, all the this. And then all
Will
you
you be
have
able
to do is
Are you
buy.
planning on Shopify?
No,
Just place to be able to buy physical products is what I'm thinking or asking.
no, you can sell physical products on your own website.
I thought this was linked to your website.
No, this is your WordPress install.
Okay.
So you have a whole WooCommerce marketplace. You can sell your swag there.
Okay.
The key idea is not to integrate any third party owning of your traffic or your customers who could deplatform you, cancel you, or turn you off.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Well, I was almost in this other world of my digital. There's a company that does my heavy lifting, and they do the full service of everything. The different content writers, design, they do everything. I'm like a GoDaddy.
right.
And I was thinking down the line, since we already have the digital, the tracking and everything else, that this could work with it, but I don't want that. This gives me the ability, this sound like Casey. Okay, I hear Casey in my head now. Have control, do this, do that, because if they do something, I still lose those custom. Okay, I got you. This is cool. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody
Sorry,
owns,
excuse me, Ian.
yeah, nobody owns your stuff.
This is
NFTs are
Casey
all
approved.
about ownership. You own these customers and they own a piece of you. It's mutual, it's peer-to-peer. No intermittent third parties who can say no. Nobody can turn you off. Nobody can shut you out. Nobody can take it away. Right? Imagine the power of that. One of the platforms that we're launching, I'm actually looking for somebody to lead it because I ideated it, but I do not have time to do it. But I have all the pieces. It's called Immuniversity. It's literally natural health and wellness education courses, lead generation,
Really?
practitioners, blogs, like state of the art, unfucking censorable, unfuckwithable. I'm sorry. When a Nobel Prize winning virologist says you don't make a vaccine with the entire spike when you just need the base to cause an immune response, otherwise you're going to make them vaccine dependent. When they say that in 2020 early, and then that happens because they used the whole spike anyway. Well, that we knew in 2020, but they were censoring it everywhere. So this will be uncensorable fact.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was going on because CDC wasn't CDC anymore. A lot of stuff was going on. With me being from J&J, I was definitely in the mix because I was trained in communicable diseases.
Right. But look at Johnson & Johnson. And ASCII and
That's very screwed up.
I ranted. I said, please get the Johnson & Johnson one. It's an old school traditional formula. It's a it's an actual vaccine. Whether it is or not, we don't know. It's too early to know. We'll know in 10 years, but it won't. It's just a vaccine. It's just, I preached to everyone. If you do not have the MTHFR gene mutation and you don't have the clotting disorder, just get the Johnson & Johnson. Please. If you have to have it, just get the Johnson & Johnson. It was the safer option, in my opinion, of everything out there. I'm off my pulpit. Was I right? J&J was the safest.
No, I didn't go that way. I went with the cut and paste option. That's how they were able to bring it to more. Yeah, that's what I call it, the cut and paste option. It was already, the technology was there. All they did was drive it out. And because of all the confusion and everything, and that's why they had come to market quicker, because there was already the technology there.
Yeah.
I didn't get J&J, even though I'm a J&J employee. I got Moderna.
Okay. So we'll have a conversation afterwards and it's NAC and bromide dissolves the spikes that the mRNA keep making. It's natural stuff. I'm a natural homeopathic alternative.
At that point, dude, since I'm like 20 years older, I'm in that.
You are not.
Yeah.
You got to tell me how old you are, Chris. Girl, I thought you were like 48 to 55.
I'm 68. That's how I got 40 years experience.
You look amazing. I want to be you when I grow up.
Yeah, we all need to talk to her. You look younger than me.
I thought I
looked younger than you, and I look 10 years older. Very much.
Oh my God. I went to
Disney with beautiful skin.
Yeah, see, all you guys need to really be doing is, like I tell Kay, I said, you don't want to be me at this age. I just don't want to stand in Walmart. That's why I'm back here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to where I thought I'd go and be. You want to be able to have your own and show up and sit down or get sick and have your money coming in. I tell every young person, do not give your lives to these corporations. That's the old school way. And then when you get sick and have issues, I ended up on long-term disability. So I needed to do what was best before I retired from Johnson & Johnson. So once Moderna came out, me and my aunt was on a whole nother page. We were just trying to stay alive. I'm from New York. A lot of people we know die.
Yep. Well, New York, you were a hot spot. I literally didn't leave the house in Reno for 2 years. I'm medically ineligible. I didn't have a choice. So I just basically stayed home. So it worked.
It was just a lot of confusion, unfortunately. So, but at the end of the day, I'm very glad to be here. And this has just been a really great conversation, no matter whether it's beginning to end, or just learned so much from you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm very excited.
I'm very interested in that project. I'm, project manager. Yeah.
I will happily hand it.
Trust me, they gave me a project with no money. US Airways was going broke at the time with electronic ticketing and joint development. They said, you need to do this with no money. I said, you kidding me? Don't let the cruise lines know. Don't let Amadeus know. Don't let nobody know. Japan, nobody. Here I am with everybody on the phone leading the project, and US Air had no money.
You were a born entrepreneur.
It was a challenge.
But if you can do that, we'll have a separate conversation. But Immuniversity is is poised to do what Minting the Future is doing for blockchain, for health. Because keep in mind, what Patty's launching is revolutionary, and it's going to change the entire market for health insurance and wellness, and like keeping everybody healthy and making sure that they have easy, affordable access to a primary care physician, affordable drugs, like the whole bit. She solved it, right?
Yeah, I was very interested in that because when the airline industry finished doing electronic record systems, that's when the healthcare industry started going into EMRs.
Yeah.
So I was kind of courted for that, that whole electronic piece. And as she started speaking, and this whole piece here is really why I was interested in it anyway.
Yeah.
Although we was looking at the NFTs, this kind of falls in my camp kind of naturally.
Perfect. There we go.
Yes, I do want to talk to you. Literally, I've got a million things in my head.
Right?
Yeah.
Glad to talk to you.
I'm telling you, you're all going to come up with something, and you're going to, well, you'll probably fall in love with 4 or 5 things, but you're going to come up with something, and that's going to be the thing that we are going to drive you into the media as.
Okay.
Right? Kay's just in love with this whole media marketing thing. Girl, you have no idea how many journalists I was just at CES. When it comes to technology, I have all of them. Like every day in the media room for lunch. Like all of them. They're all now besties. Oh yeah, we're gonna get some articles written. Yeah. Okay, girl, you got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Steffi Joe, how you doing?
Oh my gosh, my head is so full.
You said you wanted to learn.
I'm getting tired, but this is awesome. Some great information. I just love, your presentation, and just, the way your stories, and how they are around your teaching. I mean, I'm just in awe. So right now I'm just soaking this in and thinking about, where, I'm going to fit and where direction I'll go. That's still open for me. So that's exciting to me, because this is just great information, great stuff. And I'm excited about all of it. So I will find my focus though. Because right now it's like, I want it all. But
right? Well, I know, because you love to learn. And that's what you even told me ahead of time. You said, I just want to know everything. I'm like, okay, this is the class.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's a fire hose.
Yeah.
That literally used to be the end of all of my talks when I would do platform sales. I do 90 minutes of this, but I mean like 10 times more content in 90 minutes. And at the end, I'd be like, how many of you feel like that's a fire hose? And they're like, how many of you would prefer a drip system? Well, here's what you can have in a drip system. And they all run to the back of the room.
No, it's great.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. How are our non-screen performers doing? Patty and Jen and JC?
I'm doing good. Oh, I'm all good. I'm taking my notes.
Okay.
The mouth is quiet, but the brain is 100 miles ahead. So
fabulous. Okay. Well, I'm going to have more handouts next week, and I'm just learning. I'm moving from LearnDash, which Steffi Joe, I think, is the only one who ever saw the LearnDash page on my Wow Is Me website. It was ugly as fuck. And I could not fix it. To save my freaking life, could not fix it. And so then I built a whole nother site, and then that had the DNS error. And now so I'm like, screw it. I'm putting it on Minting the Future, but it's in WP Courseware, which I've never used before because I've used 4 other platforms. So now I'm having to learn how to put all the content in. So it will be there. You'll have your video replays and everything else. I want it to be beautiful though. I want it to be like beautiful lessons so that you can so that's the end goal, but y'all are early. You're going to have me forever. You'll see it when it's completely done. And then by the time we launch the beta program, and you have lifetime access. So you can always rewatch, like when I make it with the PowerPoints, if that's a easier way of learning, you can always rewatch it then. And there's going to be notes. I didn't see it kick off. I bought a thing. It's called Instaminutes. It's on AppSumo. And it plugs into your Zoom, and then it literally takes notes, and then the AI creates this is what happened. And your to-dos and your everything else. But I didn't see it kick off, so I don't know if I installed it right.
It's called what again?
Instaminutes. Dude, let me just send you my AppSumo code. You'll get $10. I'll get $10. They only pay me $10. Do you know how much I spend on AppSumo a year? Like $5,000 or more. And I actually buy like 20 grand worth of stuff, but they have this awesome return policy. So I will buy it, I will try it, and I will kill it fast. And if it sucks, I return it. Then I just respend the money. Makes it easy. That's why I have so much stuff. So, okay. With that, I'm going to say goodnight. It has been amazing. I am so excited that we are all together, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait. You guys are going to love this. One day it's going to go, you're going to go click. And for a particular use case, all the pieces are going to fall into place, and you're going to be like, you'll see it. See this background? That's like the schematics that drop into my head when people pitch me. It's like, you are here. You want to be here. I know how to get there. Right? And it'll all make perfect sense. And when we do the schematics, the architecture for next week, you're going to get the handouts on the different case studies for the different types of industries. So I think you're going to like that. Okay. And my hard drive did not blow up. So yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.